Hey, I'm Brandon.
I'm Jeremy from Monster Truck, and you're checking out MayTheRockBeWithYou.com.
Welcome to Australia, and welcome to May the Rock Be With You.
Thank you.
Yeah, again, sort of, yeah. Now you're here for the first time. How's it been so far?
Pretty much everything we expected, and a little bit more even. I don't know. Everyone's been telling us we had to get out here for a long time, and you know, everyone around the band and, you know, the people we work with and everything, we've just been saying that we had to make it a priority. But it's hard to just say that, you know, and get to be able to get the kind of resources together to get out here. You know, you really need a reason. So this is probably the best one you could hope for to come and do at arenas.
And with a big band like Nickelback, it's not too bad either.
Not too bad.
Yeah, they do pretty alright here. They've been here a long time, so
yeah,
it's a good one to get on. Now, what's the most touristy thing you've done so far?
Touristy thing so far.
Koala stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Koala Sanctuary in Brisbane.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a gimme, really.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's a great pairing, like I said, with you and Nickelback, and sometimes it's hard for a support band. I mean, how have the crowds been so far? What's the reaction been like?
It's kind of tough from our perspective up there because with lights in your face, you really only can see the first, let's say, 5 rows. And those people are the diehard Nickelback fans. So most of them really are kind of upset that Nickelback's not playing at that moment. So now some are into it. There's definitely smiles, but you find out after the fact, social media starts blowing up and you start seeing merch numbers, and it's like everybody out there that we can't see is loving it. So
yeah,
cool.
A football field away, there's a super fan, and you know, we didn't get to connect with them during the show, which makes it difficult. But you know, you find out after. It literally took after the first show for me to feel good about it, because after the first show, I was just like, I forgot how weird it was being in arenas, and I was like, man, this is like going to be rough. These people are just not feeling it. And then our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, everything was blowing up, and I was like, I've never seen a reaction like that. We've done lots of big shows in North America like this too, but the kind of conversion rate of like the number of people at the show that are interacting with our stuff afterwards is like the highest I've ever seen it. So that's a good sign.
Wow, that's awesome.
And they're buying T-shirts and CDs at the show, so that's like
the best indicator, especially when merch prices are jacked so high with the arena,
which is typical Aussie pricing.
What are you selling, $50 for a shirt?
I don't even know.
I think so.
I think this is one of the times I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember being that concert goer and like going to the arena show and being like, what the fuck? Why is that? Why is $60? Like $120 for a hoodie? Like, and it's like you find out later that it's not the band, you know, setting these prices, and it's so you hope that people have an understanding of, you know, why things are like that, but it's certainly not the way we want it to be.
Yeah, Australia though is very good with that because they understand that, well, A, it's the only way to get the stuff half the time, but 2, we love supporting the acts, and we know that the merch money is good for the bands.
Yeah.
So, and especially with CDs.
Yeah.
Because you don't make much from a label, you make it when you buy it.
Well, that was the thing that we had a quick discussion about. We were just like, we need to drop the CD prices, not because they were too expensive, but just to move more of them. You know, it was just like, you know, with our first time being here and like only playing, I think 6 or 7 shows, it's just about capitalizing as much as possible. You know, we're not trying to make an extra $1 here or $1 there on the CD. We're just trying to get the music out to people like we did with every other market that we've had success in.
Fair enough. Now, for those that may not be aware of you guys and your live show, can you describe what we're going to get?
Good old rock and roll. It's like, we just want people to have fun. We just want to have fun up there, and that's what rock and roll's always been about, right?
Yep.
So
The best thing I always hear from people is that as I love playing, especially for a crowd like this, or maybe even like a festival crowd where it's a mixed bunch of bands, there's always a few old rock guys in the crowd that, for lack of a better expression, they've given up on trying to find new rock bands, you know, and for whatever reason they have stopped going to concerts or whatever. This is our fan base back in Canada too, and you know, if we get a chance to interact with them, they'll come up and they'll be like, I haven't gone to a rock concert in 20 years. You guys finally got me off the couch and made me come out, you know. And to me, that's the best compliment almost anyone can give, because these are guys that have been through the 70s and the 80s and they've seen all these like really top tier rock acts, and to be the reason why that we've kind of, you know, renewed their faith in live concerts is, you know, exciting and encouraging.
I think your sound as well sort of leans towards the the old rocker dudes. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
Yeah.
But you know, it is that real sort of classic kick-ass rock and roll.
It's certainly not a bunch of teenagers at our show.
No, and it's not manufactured either. You know what I mean? Like, it's just good. Like last night at the pub, you guys just there was what 50, 60 people there.
Yeah.
And it was like you were playing in front of thousands. You just love it. It was great.
Yeah, it's the same even when we play just the four of us in our rehearsal space. It's like you have to do that to make the songs translate, whether it's just for us or for 10,000 people. So
yeah, I can't play good if I'm not enjoying it. If it's just about like playing the song, like it'll come out shitty and it's happened because there's naturally sometimes you're just not going to be in the right mood or the right headspace or the sound's horrible or whatever. Luckily for us, it doesn't happen very much anymore, but when it does, I'm making mistakes and it doesn't sound right, and it kind of devolves from there. So it's always important. I personally try to clear my head before going on stage because I know how important it is to be in a good place to be able to play well.
That's right. Now, we work on a 2-year cycle with you guys. We've spoken to you in 2011, 2013, and now it's 2015. So what's happened in the last 2 years? Fill us in.
Whole lot of touring everywhere except here. Well, no, we've been to UK and Europe a lot. Three tours we've done over there. We've been going to America a little bit. America's such a huge beast that you just kind of keep chipping away, and hopefully it starts making a dent. So yeah, we toured a whole bunch, and then right as soon as we were done touring, we started recording a new album. So recording is mostly done, and we're shaping it up to hopefully get it out in the fall.
Your fall? Our
Oh
fall?
yes,
I had
You're
this
right.
issue yesterday. September.
Okay, this September.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my next sort of question. I mean, 2 EPs, one album, a couple of years since the album, so we're finally getting something new.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we wanted to keep a 2-year cycle. I think it's healthy for the fan base and healthy for us. We don't want to play the same songs for 4 years in a row. So.
Then you'd get bored.
Yeah.
Now, what about the inspiration behind the songs? Was there an idea of what you wanted when you went in writing, or is it just the same sort of stuff?
I think the idea, at least from my perspective, and we don't do any of the lyric writing, so I think John always has kind of an idea for every song, a singular idea for a song. I don't know if he looks at it too broad, but at least from the album perspective, at least what I wanted to achieve with it was just kind of not stray too far from what we've done in the past, because that's obviously been working, but at the same time trying to evolve a couple of the songs a bit further into a different direction, just because I think it's important to kind of grow a bit too. At the same time, you don't want to just record the same album 4 times in a row. So it was just kind of a mix of both those things, really trying to concentrate on giving people songs that as soon as they hear them, they're like, there's Monster Truck, they're back. But at the same time, like hit a part in the record where you're like, whoa, I didn't really see this coming from them,
Nice, big power ballad or something, is there?
Yeah, no, well, depends how you look at it. We had that big long blues jam on Furiosity, so it was like, again, not about doing another big long blues jam on this record. It's about maybe trying something else. But I think we've pretty much got there at this point.
Looking forward to it, and that means you can come back with a new album.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully.
That's the plan. Now, we said this last night. Canada's got some great rock bands. I mean, obviously Nickelback, Theory, One Bad Son, The Trues. We love them, that sort of stuff down here. What's the scene like over there? Like, what don't we know about Canadian rock?
There's not that many bands, really. I mean, it's kind of divided between those can rock type bands, bands that go to America and try to do a worldwide thing, and then the indie rock thing is a different beast. There's tons of bands that are kind of coming and going in that scene, and it's not as stable as the rock scene, really. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's pretty varied. Like, there are a lot of rock bands, so you named the biggest ones pretty much. And
we have friends of ours that are in Hamilton called the Arkells, and they get around the world pretty steady. But it is like he was saying, it's really varied. It's really far spread apart. It's similar to Australia, and it's a lot of land and not a lot of major cities. So and again, we've been kind of separated from it for the last 2 years. We really haven't been spending a ton of time in Canada. When we do, it's a very laser focused approach, and then we're out again. So I don't even know if we have the best gauge about what's going on in Canada, because right now we're so concentrated on Europe, UK, and now it looks to be Australia too. And we have such so much fun in these places that's what we're focusing in on. We're actually losing touch a little bit with what's happening in Canada.
So I should be filling you in on the Canadian bands.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
All right, I'll be in touch. Now, 6 or so years you've been together, and obviously you'd played before. But what's been the sort of biggest growth and evolution you've seen within the band in the time together?
Probably opening up for the big guys. Like once we did our first 2, we actually did 4 shows opening for Deep Purple early in 2012, and that was a real shock to us. It was really overwhelming, and that was our first view of any shows that big, or those kind of crowds, or that kind of band guy that you would meet and hang out with. Like they had us back to their dressing room a couple of the nights, and we're just shooting the shit. Roger Glover's talking about why he wanted to play bass and stuff, and telling us the stories. And then we toured with Slash that same summer, and he was the same kind of guy. And then
Alice in Chains.
Yeah, and then it just kept going on, and we really learned so much from all those bands and saw why they were as big as they were, and what kind of attitudes they had towards like everything in life really, but specifically about concerts and touring, and we took so much from it and basically just tried to do those things as best as we could, and next thing we knew we're playing concerts that big on our own. Like one of the venues we played with Deep Purple, it's almost 2 years later, we headlined in our hometown, the big theater. So it was kind of like we learned and our dreams got realized, and then it motivated us to try to keep on going. See, maybe we could be there in 40 years like they are. Who knows?
No, maybe you will. Is there anyone that you want to open for that you haven't had a chance to yet, or is there a dream?
Airborne.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we actually met those guys back in Melbourne last week, and we definitely want to share the stage with them. We really like playing with the Rival Sons. It's such a perfect match. It's actually, I think, the best match that we've had yet, because with us in Airborne, it might almost be rock overload, but the Rival Sons have some really, really kind of down-tempo moments, and so it's like, if it depends what kind of rock you're into. You might have a fan in the crowd that really likes the hard rock, and you get us, but there might be a bunch of fans in the crowd that really like the groovy kind of like more chilled out moments, and so you're gonna satisfy both types of fan, and they're still gonna like the other one too. Like if they're a major Rival Sons fan, they're gonna like us, and if you're a major Monster Truck fan, you're gonna like them. It's just so symbiotic, and it was just a real eye opener for us as far as having a matching tour goes.
Nice. Everyone would be good. Come back here and do that. That'd be great.
It would also be cool to open not just at festivals, but on tour for maybe Metallica or AC/DC or
AC/DC would
something like that.
Yeah, we should show that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like the more of a taste of the huge shows you get, it's kind of infectious and makes you want to do it again. And then just the whole fact of getting to say, like, we played with Deep Purple. We opened for Deep Purple. That's special.
Well, AC/DC are playing at the giant football stadium over here in November, 2 shows. So that gives you an indication of how much we love them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you leave Australia. What's next for you guys?
What are we doing? We're going to play a little outdoor show in Saskatoon before we go home from this trip, and then summer festival stuff, like smaller town stuff in Canada. Trying to keep a lower profile until the album comes out, and then we're going to Europe with Nickelback in the fall.
Oh, you going back out with the guys?
Yeah, this is just a warm up. It's kind of how we got this tour to begin with, was just the fact that we got this 2.5 month long run set up with them in the I was going to say fall again, in September, October, November, and they were really excited about it. We kind of been corresponding with them about it, and then this kind of came up where they needed an opener, and it was like, well, you guys done your record? Why don't you come out to Australia with us? And we were like, fuck yeah.
They're good dudes too.
Yeah, they've been treating us so good, and it was kind of a thing where we knew what we were getting into, because the word is out in the industry that they're super nice, their crew is super nice. The way they run the ship is just professional and efficient, and just it's it's the kind of thing, again, like what we were saying before about the bigger acts. It's like it's all about watching the way that they do their business and learning something, because there's always something to be learned from an act that is so professional.
Yeah, even last night, like there were a couple of the crew there.
Yeah.
Like, and it was,
That's
great.
right.
Like,
Yeah. They're so supportive, and I mean that's especially important for us when we come and do these shows, because we don't have guitar techs and we don't have all these extra hands that are helping us with our stuff, and it's like we're busy doing interviews and making smoothies, and if someone can help us with our gear if it's broken, or even just lend us a hand like with anything, it's a huge help to us, because we just can't afford to or have the the means to take people with us
yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Which maybe that's why they're being so nice to us.
And they want a job.
I like the truck band. I'm going to go with them. And now what I do with everyone is I try and get them to predict the future. So I want you to finish this sentence for me. By the end of 2015, Monster Truck will...
Oh, I don't want to be too cocky with that one.
You're allowed to be.
No.
Well, 2015 is kind of like mid-cycle. We're concentrating on by the end of 2016.
Give me that then.
That's the other thing too, because I already know what's going to happen this year, because our whole schedule is plotted out. It's hard to fantasize about what might happen, because I can see it on the calendar right now. So by the end of 2016, we'll be able to come and headline a 500 cap room in Australia.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good.
1,000 in Europe?
Yeah, 1,000 in Europe. We'll be able to do
good.
1,000 cap in Germany, and we'll do 500 cap in Australia, and the album will have gone gold in Canada.
That's a good one. And you're a year away from talking to us again.
Yeah.
Yes, we would love to come back.
That's what we should have said. We'll be sitting and talking with you
Yeah,
again.
we'll make this more frequent.
Let's do it.